Hello everyone. This is third part of your chapter 2.5 a play. Before that we have seen that a thief in the court of King Chopat was a complainant and he had complained that his friend passed away because of the collapse of the wall which was built by weekly by the merchant because it was merchant's house. And you know very well what happened next. One by one, thief, merchant, then bricklayer, then mortar makers came in front of the king because of their complaints of their imperfection of their work. And at last we have seen that a mortar maker was begging for his life because he had his own family. My dear friend, now let's see what happened when mortar maker requested the king Chopat for his life. So what happened then? Mortar maker said to the king, No, my royal lord, I am not to blame. The pot which I used to pour water into the mortar had an extraordinarily large mouth, so excess water poured down into the mortar mixture. I was helpless. It is the potter's fault the making such a useless pot. My dear friends, the sequence of making another one the responsible for the collapse of wall is continuously going on, and in this consequent mortar maker said that it was the fault of potter because potter had made a mouth of the pot very large. Then what happened next? Whom the potter blamed? Obviously the king called the potter, and potter came in front of the king, and he also put his request in front of the king, and he said that, Your Majesty, show mercy on his humble potter. I agree. The pot I have made and sold to the mortar maker was a defective one, but I am not guilty, as I was molding that pot. I heard the sweet, delicate tinkling of anklets. It was the moneylender's daughter. She distracted me just as I was shaping the mouth, and it became too wide. So, my dear friends, again the sequence of making another person responsible was going on, and the mortar maker blamed to potter, and potter blamed to the moneylender's daughter, who was crossing from where there the potter was shaping the pot. What happened next? Obviously the king will call the moneylender's daughter, and thereafter what did she say? Moneylender came with his daughter, and moneylender said, "O just king, spare my daughter. She is my only child and to be wedded next Monday." Moneylender, on behalf of his daughter, requested king to let her live. Then daughter said, "Oh, do not fret, father, the king will not hang me." And again she turned towards king and said, "Your most esteemed highness, I rarely step outside the threshold of my home, but as my father said, I am to be married next week, and my jewelry is not ready, I had to go to goldsmith shop to urge him to work faster and hard over my ornaments on time. The potter's shop is on the way. I could not help it. It is all the goldsmith's fault. Had he delivered my ornament on time, I would not have been forced to go past the potter's shop. Then King said, then send for the goldsmith, and without any delay he must be hanged. My dear friend, it was very comic scene in a king's court that one by one each and everyone is blaming his fault to another, and the moneylender's daughter again passed that to the goldsmith, who was delayed the delivery of moneylender's daughter's jewelry, and she went to collect his jewelry because in next week she was about to marry. So my dear friends, this sequence is going on and on and on. Then what was the result, and when this sequence has stopped? Do you think it is a continuous chain, or it has been stopped anywhere? Where it has been stopped, we will see into our next video, final part of this chapter of play. Till then, kindly fill the table which is given to you